Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. I am so ready for the weekend. I don't know about you, but today I'm going to be keeping it very simple. And I'm hoping that you all enjoy this very simple watercolor slash maybe a little mixed media doodling of some sort. Let me try to kind of get this more flat so you can see it. There we go. All right, so let's just jump right in. What we are doing today, we are going to be just doing some stripes, almost like a, oh, is my camera going to be this little dramatic thing again? It might be. I hope not. Oh, I think it's going to be this little dramatic thing again. You can disconnect to remove this iPhone from the Mac camera list. Well, I don't want to. I want it to work. Okay. So what we're going to do is just almost like some staggered brick situation, and we're going to do it in vibrant, bright colors, and we're just going to go from there. So I'm going to start by just getting a wash brush. This is a 3/4 inch Princeton Select. I don't even know that this is going to fit on the paper like as a whole, but we're just going to go with it. So I'm going to start by getting some phthalo turquoise, and we're just going to start here, and we're going to make a line like that. And while that's still wet, I'm going to grab some of this opera pink, and I'm going to go in on the other side as best I can and bring that inward. Just like that. Super easy. Super easy. And then let's take some, where is my other little palette here that I like to use? We're going to take some Indian Yellow Deep right here. Might need a little bit more water on there. And let's do a vertical that starts right here and maybe goes down like here. There we go. And then I'm going to rinse that off, and I'm going to grab maybe some orangey color. It's not going to be the most, oh no, let's do red. We'll do this red color right here. And I'm going to start down here and drag it upward. Maybe give it a little flow so that it can, you know, do something productive with itself. And then let's grab some, ooh, you guys know, you know my color, right? Cascade Green. Because Cascade Green is my boo. And we'll just take this and let's maybe only go 3/4 of the way over. And then I'll add a little bit of indigo right here. There we go. Although I don't like that I went the opposite direction. So, oh no, a splatter has occurred. Oopsie daisy. There we go. No big deal, right? Just want to say good morning to everybody that has joined. Thank you so much for being here. Feel free to share this live with your peeps. Always makes my day to have people coming. It does not make my day when my camera decides to be a little dramatic a-hole in the mornings, or in the evenings for that matter. All right, let's grab some green because I feel like we're missing green here. Let's grab this ugly, pukey, rich green gold. It does have a place in the color world. It just doesn't have a place in most of my coloring world. Because indeed it is rich. Indeed it is green. And indeed it is gold. And indeed it is weird. But it has a place somewhere. All right, let's grab some sap green to mix in there with it. Give it a little extra love of green, maybe. That did absolutely nothing. Let me add some perylene green. We'll give it some blue shade of green. I'm going to need to refill my perylene green over here because I've used it so much lately. There we go. Okay. Oh my goodness, my freaking camera, you guys, I'm so sorry. Oh, but if you are just joining me for the morning, thank you so much for being here. I would love it if you would give this video some hearts and share it with your live, because TikTok has put me in the shadow ban jail for apparently sharing a link or encouraging offsite viewing of something that I didn't realize I wasn't allowed to say. So I would appreciate it if you wouldn't mind sharing this video with your friends. All right, let's go in with a really vibrant pink. I'll make this next one like primarily pink. And I think what I'll do is bring this one down a bit. And this one we'll add yellow to. There we go. And then next, how about some purple? What if we bring in some purple? I don't remember which one this is. I think it's Rose of Ultramarine. Let's do this right here. There we go. And then let's bring in some Payne's Gray with it. Gonna need some more pigmentation on that Payne's Gray. There we go. I think. Okay. Now let's grab some of this cobalt teal. We're going for vibrant today because I have not been feeling vibrant the last few days. I have been under the weather. I hate being under the weather. All right, so we're doing this, which I'm sure is going to bother a lot of you, that there is this little extra line there that just doesn't connect to anything. Mary, thank you so much for sending the heart. You are so kind. Thank you for that. Makes me less under the weather. I wish that were true. And so I'm going to take some Chinese vermilion and bring that in over here. That one's not bright. I need some bright. How about, you know what? Let's just go back in with some of that same purple. That's what I was hoping it would turn anyway. And maybe for the little gaps, we'll just find something to do elsewhere. Maybe some gold. Maybe we'll make some teeny tiny stripes at some point. I don't know. I'm just doing fun, vibrant, because I'm so fun and vibrant in the morning. Yeah. After this, I might be. All right. Let's see. I want some more Cascade Green, and I think my palette is out of Cascade Green. Let me put another little smudge of it there. And let me take a look at some of my other greens too. That's a duochrome, which is shimmery. I don't want rare green earth. Here's some sap green. Let me add some more over here. I also have a hooker's green in a little palette. Oh, okay, a little pan. Can't get that one because it's definitely stuck under there. Let me show you. You can see right here. He's stuck. Oh, wait. Okay, I got him. He's dirty, but I don't judge. Okay, so let's try some more green because I feel like we're lacking in the greens. Let's see what color green he wants to be. He looks looks like he's going to be a pretty green. I don't use them in these pans this much because they're a little drier, not as goopy as my tubes of color. And I tend to really like the tube colors better. Oh my goodness, you guys. My phone is so dramatic being like this. I'm sorry. Okay, there's that. Now let's go in with this one. This is a turquoise pan as well. Okay, shoot. Let's get some more up in there. Okay, that line is just not that good, but we're not going for good. We're just going for fun. And let's see here. You know what? This might call for my Winsor & Newton palette. Where did I put it? Might be here. I don't use this thing enough anymore because I usually just use my palette over there. See, look at what a mess. What a mess. But this one's got some oranges in it. Or an orange in it. That I've never... Well, obviously, it's not that I've never used it. Oh my gosh, what a dramatic... Okay, come on, camera. Why are you being a little snot? Okay, obviously I've used it, but I haven't used it that orange in like years. So maybe let's give that a try. Let's see what that looks like. Got some green in it because why not? My water is nice and dirty. All right, I think I'll... Ooh, that's nice. Okay. Okay, shoot. I can get on board with you. My hand's starting to get shaky from the, the coffee. There we go. All right. Now let's see. Let's add. And you guys feel free to leave some comments if there's something that a color in here that you want to see. Let's try. Maybe this lemony yellow is definitely going to turn green. Limey green. Because my water's greenish, muddy. And let's do, actually, let's start from the top. Almost like a continuation here. There we go. And let's do some, maybe this red, reddish orangey sort of color. And we'll do it this way. Okay. I'm digging it. And we'll couple that with whatever this purpley tone is. I think this is like an orchid sort of color. Get some more on there. Zach's mom says, I've enjoyed listening and watching, but I must go and get kids to school. Maybe I'll see you again. Thank you so much for spending some of your morning with me. And I hope that you enjoy the time that you get to spend with your kids on the way to school. Totally get it. I go on after I get my kids off to school. So I'm on usually between 8:30 and 8:45 in the mornings and 8:30 and 9 in the evenings. Hope to see you again soon. Have fun. All right. So I'm digging that color. I like it. I actually really like those two colors together. Didn't think I would, which is why this exercise is actually fun, because sometimes you end up surprising yourself. Okay. I know what color I don't want, and that's brown. Let's do so many colors, yet not enough, you know? Let's do, I want to do more of this blue. I know I have so many blues in this Winsor & Newton palette, but I swear this one's the best one. It's so pigmented and pretty. All right, now I'm going to grab some of that Cascade Green, which is one of my favorites because it separates into green and teal. And I'll just go back up into it like this. And now we'll watch it separate into green and teal and this blue. However, needs more water. There. Needs more water, and it needs to not take away my blue. Don't take away my blue. There. All right. Let's see. What do we want next? Maybe some of this kind of rosy color. Let's see. We'll add this one. My brush doesn't really want to fit in there. And we'll go here. We want some more pigment on it, like this. And maybe let's add some bright pink. Brighten it up a little bit. I'm going to need you to be more opera pink than you are opera pink. There we go. And if you are just now joining, thank you for spending some of your morning with me. I would greatly appreciate if you would share this video with your following, because I am currently in TikTok jail for mentioning a link that apparently they did not like. So I've been put on TikTok jail and they're not sending me viewers anymore. So please, any and all shares are greatly appreciated. Let's try some more greens. I feel like we're lacking in the green department. So let's try this one. Ooh, that's a nice one. I'm digging it. Let's go down to there. We'll make it a really long one. That's what she said. All right. And you know what? I think that one deserves some... I was going to say some yellow, but I feel like we have a lot of yellow. Then I was going to say blue, but we have a lot of blue. So I think we'll just go with yellow. Love this Indian yellow deep. So pretty. There we go. Thank you for the follow, Liz. How do you do the double camera point of view? Great question. So I am using my laptop to look at you this way. That has the camera on it. And on there is an app called TikTok Live Studio. And then up here is my iPhone. And I have it connected with this wire. And I think that's why it's being so dramatic, because it keeps like going blurry and then reconnecting and then going blurry. And so I call it being dramatic every time it does that. It had stopped doing that for a couple of my lives. I don't know why it has started again. I don't know if maybe the port is just like messed up, or maybe the cable isn't running enough power. I don't know. I don't know how these things work, but that's how I do it. Thanks. Yeah, everybody was whining that they didn't get to see my face. And I was just like, who wants to see this in the mornings? Like, come on. But people like to see faces, whatever. As long as you don't mind seeing, you know, my greasy hair, which actually was looking cute the last couple of days because I had to look presentable at a doctor's appointment for my son. And most of the time I'm wearing the same thing. At night I have, so I go live twice in the morning, once in the morning, once in the evening. And at night I call it pajamas and tea. So I'm always wearing pajamas and I just don't care. So yeah, I think so too. But I also just, you know, I'm like, look, if I'm going to be on camera, you guys are just going to have to be okay with not caring what I look like. And then I'm going to say this wrong. Is it wiener? That's my kind of username. Says red. Okay. Yeah. You know what? We do need to bring some more red. I love it. I love it. You have found the right channel, my dear. This is so relaxing and cute. Reminds me of Ambi and Dexter. I don't think I've ever heard of Ambi and Dexter, but this is your kind of channel. I can tell we're going to get along, not number 2. It says number 2 on the thing next to your name. I can tell we're going to get along, Wiener. We do a lot of that's what she says on here. And I have gotten in trouble because you want to hear a funny story while I continue doing this. When I first got on here and started like making regular fans that like showed up regularly, I had somebody, or I shouldn't say somebody, I had my regular fans on, and they all knew that I had lost my job back on Halloween, and I have been referring to myself as an unemployed freeloader, just for fun. And no, I have not gotten a job. And yes, I have turned to TikTok to get approved for the Amazon influencer program. And I just got approved for it this week. Yay! However, that way I can start earning something because it's been 5 months and the job market is atrocious. Anyway, so we were talking in a couple of my lives about ways people are making money right now. And one of them is, thank you. One of them is taking pictures of your feet and selling them. And another one is fart in a jar. So this guy gets on here and he says, I'm paying bills for the first 5 people who direct message me. And I was like, his name was Jack. I said, Jack, you can see yourself out. And I'm like laughing. Oh, hey girl. Hey, Andrea, how you doing? See, yeah, see, she knows. And so I said, you could see yourself out. And then, some of the comments were like, oh gosh, and like rolling their eyes and stuff. And then I joked and said, he can pay my bills because I'm an unemployed freeloader. Maybe I'll send him some pictures of feet. And he reported it as sexualized content. It immediately got shut down. Like my live just ended abruptly. Yep. Jar him up for that hard cash. See, she remembers. And so got shut down immediately. I had to appeal it. Of course, I got my live access back and all, but so I ended up having ChatGPT create this graphic because I have been joking that I'm in my Florida Stanley era because I actually do live in Florida and it's been really nice weather the last couple of weeks for the most part. And so I just want to sit and care about nothing at all, have no cares in the world, and drink my icy minty lemonade. And so I had it create this graphic where I am dressed like Florida Stanley from The Office, where he goes in and he tries to pitch getting a spot in the special project where they go to Tallahassee to open the Sabre store. And yeah, it does, right? And so he's dressed in like this white blazer and like pink accents and a fedora and stuff. And so it created a cartoon version of me, and it's Brittany. And in that graphic, I had it put Florida Jen, and underneath it, it says unemployed freeloading with iced minty lemonade. And then there is a foot behind my head with a toe ring and painted toenails and a bunch of cash flying around. There's a fart in a jar on the other side with the name Jack next to it. And I think that's it. I think that's it so far, but it's somewhere on my feed. So feel free to go check that out because it's awesome. But yeah, so. But now I need you to like go be one of those, like, I don't know how you join my little fan club. I think it's just like a little extra heart that like you just put join my fan club. And because I need to be able to say I have a wiener in my fan club. That's what you said. Yeah. And then I have another person who I adore. Thank you, Andrea, for the heart. Yes, on it. I have another person who gets on and she didn't know how to send gifts and she figured it out and she sent me a rose. And I was like, so some might say you were a virgin. And she's like, yeah, and you took my flower. So at the time I was painting some flowers. And when we do these kind of paintings, I typically like to try to name them together with the audience that is watching me paint. And so she was like, okay, I need you to name this one Jen Took My Flower. So that painting is now called Jen Took My Flower. It's awesome. So anyway, we have a very good time here. And now I can say Wiener is my number one fan. At least that's what it says here. It says number one. Number one. Are you an Office fan, Wiener? I love it. Oh. What color am I going for now? I don't even know. I'm just so obsessed with the fact that your username is Wiener. Okay, so one of the things that I also like to say, and nobody gets this, peach. Peach. Do I have any peach? Oh, yes, I do over here. So one of the things that I also like to say, because I just said number one, is the guy that works in the warehouse. I can't remember his name, but he goes, in Japan, hot surgeon, number one, steady hand. I love that guy. My husband never laughs at me when I do that, though. I'm like, come on. He just must not be as much of an Office fan as I am, but I do make him watch it with me once in a while. Let's see, we'll do peach. Peaches, 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 peaches. Mindy, good morning. I'm dying to know what brought you straight in here. Was it my Wiener comment? Was it in Japan, hot surgeon, number one, steady hand? I love it. And that's why I can't stop doing TikTok, even if I do finally get my on-site things approved to make money on review videos for Amazon. Yes, the Wiener. I can sing more than words without doing it like Andy with his sitar. More than words. Yeah. You know, for a while, I really couldn't stand Andy. And the more I watched The Office, the more I came to appreciate his character. I don't know if anybody else feels that way. And I'm also kind of curious if any of you listened to the Office Ladies podcast and how you felt about listening to it. Because I just felt like I was one of the girls, you know, like I just felt like I belonged with them. Like, yeah, I was on the set too, and that was so fun. And yeah, I was there for that. Rob is in the house. He heard I was using Cascade Green. We are talking about The Office and my new number one fan whose username is Wiener. Bears. No, that's right. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. Michael! I also always really like the shun, unshun. So many good moments in that show. I mean, I feel like if it kept going, like, you know, it would eventually fizzle out and nobody would watch it. So I can't say I'm glad that it ended when it did, but it definitely left during a point where I feel like it came out on a high note. Shun, unshun. And then when Angela had to drink the beet juice as part of her contract to bear a child with Dwight, it showed her teeth. It was so gross. And, oh my gosh, probably one of the funniest ones was when Dwight took, oh my gosh, what's this freaking Ryan out to the beet fields as like an initiation into sales. And I forget the exact line, but he basically was like, and as you put the seeds into the ground, I too shall put my seed in you. And then he's like, I don't think you know what that means, Dwight. Let's see here. Andrea says, I went as Kevin with the chili for an office theme party. No, that is amazing. That's awesome. That was so, you know, I listened to the Office Ladies podcast about that episode, and I watched, I think, a YouTube or something about that. You know, they had to do that in one take. Yeah. Crazy. I'm like, good for Kevin Baumgartner. Like, he did it in one take. He got it. Like, good for him. Well, that's okay because Kevin kept dropping the chili, right? It was such a freaking mess. It looked like he like went swimming in diarrhea. How are you creating these multicolored stroke? Good morning, Rose. Thank you so much for being here this morning while we are talking all things office and wiener, apparently. Multicolored stroke. I am using the 3/4 inch Select flat wash brush from Princeton. And what I'm doing is going into my water that is off to the side here. You probably just saw me splatter some here. And I basically just pick a color. Let's go with this. We'll go with this one right here. This is cobalt teal. So I'm going to just pick which direction I want to go with this, which in this case I think will be this. And I'm going to slide it all the way down. And then while it's still wet, I'm going to clean off my brush. I'm going to grab another color and let's do this green right here. And oh, do that. And then I'm going to start on the other end and just drag it through to about the halfway point. And that's it. Super simple. Super duper simple. I'm trying to keep some of my morning art demonstrations easy and fun and meditative, just to get people who are watching that are brand new into the idea of just getting something on their paper and it not being perfect. So that's what we're doing this morning. And then we'll go over it with maybe some paint markers or something just to add some interest. You'll see this extra white gap here. No big deal. You'll see this extra white gap here again. No big deal. So, yep, that's what we're doing. And we're just kind of picking the colors as we go. We're chit-chatting, talking about all things office. My new #1 fan named Wiener, Ouinr, amazing. We're a bit crass around here, which I adore. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay, so what's next? I think I want some more orange. Want some more orange over here and just do like varying brick shapes. I'm always in for that. We're going to add that right here. And maybe add a little yellow in there with it. Rob says, I better get back to work. Have a good one. You too, Rob. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you, boo. Rose says, love that. I recently got back into drawing with my Sharpie pens, and I want to start watercoloring. I love me my Sharpie pens, girl. Where's my Sharpie pen? Is it this one? I don't know why I keep this one in here, because this is not my Sharpie pen, and it always makes me think that it is. So I'm getting rid of it. This is my Sharpie pen. I love these. I have used them for years. Those are great doodling pens. All right, now let's see what we want to finish this off with. I'm thinking maybe for this side, maybe just some red, this like reddish orange color. We'll do like a little thin guy like this, but he needs more pigment. There. And then we can maybe add a little bit of that orchid purpley color like we did over here, because I just love that combo. All right, there we go. Oh. What's everybody drinking this morning? Coffee or tea? Or nothing? I think we'll go in with some yellow right here. Coffee. Excellent choice. Always a good choice. And take some sap green, I think. Change it up with the greens, because since it's right next to this green. There we go. But I do want that edge to line up a little bit better. Oh no. Okay, it's not going to line up a little bit better. Whatever. Good morning, Dave. How are you? I think we need some more of that pukey green too, the rich green gold. So maybe we'll bring that in down here. We'll make a longer stripe like that. Now, I still had some of that sap green, so you can see it kind of streaked in there. So I might just use that same sap green on this side. Seems like a good plan. There we go. I am fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. Having a good morning art session and chit chat with all the wonderful people that have chosen to spend their mornings with me. You can't ask for much more than that. Except maybe to not be sick with the snots. All right, let's see. Kind of feel like we need some more bright pink over here. Ew, there's green in that still. I didn't want green in that. I didn't sign up for green. I'm painting frogs until I gotta go to work, enjoying the chill vibe and chat. Sweet! I would love to see what you paint with those frogs. If you would love to send me a picture of it. Or if you post it on TikTok, tag me in it and I will share it in my stories. Because I love doing that kind of stuff. Sometimes I feel like nobody wants to like share their art with me because they think I'm like, you know, judging or something. And don't get me wrong, I love to judge people, but not like that. I would never judge somebody's art. Art is so subjective and so many people are so good at it, and I'm not going to judge somebody's art. Now, I will judge them in case you saw the news article last night about the bus driver who said, I'm not stopping for no train, and almost got friggin' creamed because their bus was overhanging a train that was coming, a train track, and narrowly got missed by like mere seconds. Yeah, I judge that person a whole lot. And now they're facing like 29 counts of child endangerment or something. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, judge away. Judge away. Trying to decide what I'm missing over here. I think I'm missing some yellow. Let's do a different yellow. But art, nope. Okay, you know what? Maybe that's not true. Maybe I would judge art if it was depicting something harshly inappropriate. There, I said it. Like, you know, abuse of a minor or something. Then maybe I wouldn't even call it art at that point. I mean, really any abuse. Okay, I like that. Let's see. Neurodivergent writer says, oh wow, look at that amazing, or look at the amazing colors. Thank you. Rose says, that was insane. That video of the bus was, it wasn't it? Dave also says, I saw that yesterday. Wild. Yeah, I sent it to my husband right before I went to bed last night because he usually goes to bed before me because he gets up super early. And I was like, this is horrific. And the fact that they caught on camera or video audio recording that the driver said, I ain't stopping for no train or whatever he said or she said, I'm like, you better be stopping for a train. Who do you think you are that you think a train is going to stop for your bus? Dumb A. Anyway, this looks amazing. Thank you. Careful about topics. TT is a snowflake. Yeah, I know. I know. Definitely have been put in live jail, which I currently am. And like nobody's seeing my videos right now. So, but I don't care. I will push on. So, oh, thank you for the gift, neurodivergent writer. I appreciate that. So sweet. So very sweet. Yeah, I was like horrified when I saw that last night. And so angry. If that were my kids, like my kids one of my kids is going on a field trip today. And I was like, how do I know I can trust the bus driver? And we just had one, I don't know where you all are in the world, but in Jacksonville, Florida, where I live, we just had an incident where a truck rear-ended a bus that was stopped doing what it should have been doing at a railroad crossing. There was no train, luckily, but they were doing what they were supposed to do. And a truck just rear-ended them. There were 4 kids injured, I think. 2 of them, there were like, I don't know if it was 2 kids with broken legs or 1 kid with 2 broken legs. But of course they've all retained attorneys. The truck driver supposedly said that the truck's brakes failed. I don't think it was the truck's driver's fault. And it looks like there's been some similar instances within this company not maintaining their trucks. It's still all under investigation, but it's just like, I can't believe this. And they were all kindergartners. Like, what? Let's see. Neurodivergent says, oh, I saw you on my For You page. You're still out there. Yeah, you know, you might still see me out there, but I was getting 98% of my traffic pushed to me from TikTok when I go on these lives. And now it's at like 60% after that violation. So, yeah. Anyway, wasn't sure if you guys saw that on the news or not. So that's what's been floating around here. But it's just like, I can't help but think my daughter's going on a field trip today. What could happen? Ugh. But I also am not one of those people that's going to like dwell on it. I just have to believe that, you know, she's in good hands. She's safe. I'll deal with it if and when the time comes. That's just how it's going to go. Okay, so I want to show you something here. I'm going to bring this to you so you can see it. I'll answer your question in just a second. So if you see right here, this was still wet and I accidentally got this into it. So the green is puddling into this. I don't give an F. I don't think it's going to do much, but we're just having fun, guys. So yeah, it doesn't bother me any. I also don't care that these are off. No big deal. Let's see here. PA, world's getting wild, y'all. So sad. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not normally one of those people that like carries the weight of the world on their shoulders, but I definitely have been these last few months. And I am someone who certainly has my own opinions, but I will always respect the opinion of somebody else, even if I harshly disagree with it. For example, my dad and I, so my parents, I should say, they're still married. They've been married 45 years. 45? Yeah, 45 years. I think they just did their 45th year. And you know, they both have very differing opinions on a lot of things, but my dad is going to be 79 this year, and he has gotten into writing. He's written like 8 books that are available elsewhere, which I can't say that word because I'll be filtered and shadow banned again for, you know, mentioning, what is it? The name who shall not be named, or them who shall not be named. I don't remember. But anyway, and so a lot of his viewpoints I strongly disagree with. And I was raised by my parents, obviously. And, but I will fight to the death for him to be able to say the things that he believes in, even though I strongly, very strongly, with every fiber of my being, disagree. So that is something that I think a lot of people get hung up on, is that if they think that you're wrong, they want to silence you. But I very much agree that people are entitled to their opinions, and they're entitled to talk about their opinions in a respectful way. But the weight of the world has definitely been on my shoulders. And I'm not going to use this as like a political platform by any means. But I do think that we're all really struggling in a lot of ways with what's going on in the world. And I hope that, if nothing else, doing this every day, if you join, you find some peace in just doing art and sitting here talking about wieners and Jack and fart in a jar and photography. Let me go back and look at some of these comments. Are you doing YouTube as well? So I do have a YouTube where I post the replays of these. Oh, you can see my boobs. Sorry, guys. Oh, hopefully I don't get shadow banned for that. I do have a YouTube where I post the replays. However, I'm going to be using it for Amazon influencer primarily. So unless you're interested in, you know, being advertised to all the time, I wouldn't go to my YouTube. Rose says, like, come on, yeah. Add some purple. I will. Hard to do. Oh, my parents are 45 years. Yeah. Dave says, I'm a junk journalist and you are giving me ideas on making backgrounds. Interesting. But does he allow others to state their opinions? He does, but he turns into an argument real quick. And it's always like, I don't want to go here just because I don't want it to turn into like a bash of my dad. But let me just put it this way, and this is all I'll say on this topic, is a lot of the older generations will use traditional Christianity as a way to be the end-all, be-all answer to everything in life. And I do not subscribe to that. So let's just put it that way. No, he'll hear it, but, you know, it's always wrong. And it's frustrating because a lot of people under the orange man don't think the same, right? Like they won't hear differing opinions at all. Claps, well spoke, 100%. We are with you, girl. I think it's because people don't have the ability to communicate effectively. I agree. And that's something that I've been dealing with a lot, especially with the kids that my kids hang out with, especially if they are only children. They don't know how to communicate when issues arise. And I have 4 kids, so naturally conflict is part of almost the day in and day out. So we are very good at talking through things. And I'd like to think that my kids are I don't want to say well adjusted, but like they're well equipped to handle disagreements among themselves and peers. But their peers, especially the ones that are only children, they don't have siblings, so they're never part of conflict on a regular basis. They don't know how to handle things, so they just become not friends anymore. And it's like over stuff that like is not a big deal. You just talk about it and work it out, but they would rather avoid it at all costs. Let's see here. No bashing, just opened. Oh, this thing is like dripping on me. That's what she said. I think it's because people don't have the ability to, okay, no bashing, just open-mindedness seems to be one way. Yeah. Don't get me started on that. Gets me heated. Yes. Because I should have the choice not to live my life under Christianity, but it's being put into our laws. Yeah. Separate of religion and politics should be really separate. And the thing is, like, I very much subscribed to like being one of those gung-ho Christians back when I was in high school over 20 years ago. But really my life experience brought me to a very different place. And it's not that I don't personally believe in God. It's just that the fundamental Christianity that I was raised with is not what I believe in. And so when there's a difference between that fundamental belief, that's where it all starts to crumble with other Christians. And I feel like what we're finding, especially in politics and religion, because they're intertwining so much, is that they talk about traditional family values as though they are traditional family values, but what they really are traditional Christian values. And oh, make 'em bloom is in the house. How you doing, Natalie? We are talking some strong topics this morning. How you doing this morning, boo? I am so glad to see you. By the way, Natalie, I gotta tell you, we got a new fan. Do you want to know what their username is? You can't wait to hear this. You can't wait to hear this. Wiener. OUINR. Isn't that amazing? Wiener. Oh, just Caldor says religion is not the answer. It's the relationship. That's the answer. Yes. And I was very much raised that like you're supposed to be like out there and, you know, converting people and blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, the older I've gotten, the more I see about like, you know, being warriors for Christ and, you know, there's this war happening and blah, 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 blah. And we're to be soldiers. It just like all of a sudden it feels so icky, you know, like it feels icky. And so I just, for me, my faith is rooted in the idea of Christianity, but it is not practiced in the way that you see Christianity these days. So for example, I don't go to church. Now, my husband has his bachelor's degree from Moody Bible Institute in Chicago, but he doesn't work for the church at all. He's never pursued that. He works in IT actually, and for a big corporation. And but for his like from like 18 to 22-ish, he did do work in the church. And I think that's where we realized this is not the life that we wanted, because we've been together since we were teenagers. And, you know, I've been burned really badly by the people that he worked with, usually these people were trying to say that I was not the person for him because I didn't want to be in ministry. I didn't want to be a pastor's wife. I didn't want to be, basically being an evangelist, if you will. And I'm not going to go into the whole story because I realize we still need to actually paint here. But long story short, I have had a lot of very negative experiences in the church. And I get that everybody's flawed, everybody sins, blah, blah, blah. There needs to be forgiveness. But it's icky. And when something feels icky to me, I just can't get past it. And I don't want to get past it. If at the end of the day, my relationship is with God, why do I need to surround myself with people who are constantly judging if what I'm doing is a sin? If I need to have some sort of intervention, like for example, there was one time they had thrown a big hissy fit because I was in college. So I always worked full time and went to school full time or part time, depending on when I was in school. And excuse me, there was a class I had to take that was a film photography class, and we had to do nudes. So I hired a nude model. She came in, I did that nude photography. It was absolutely beautiful. And I posted it to my blog. I didn't care who in the world saw it because it was art. It was beautiful. And I didn't care. I wasn't there to please them. But it was a huge deal to them. And of course, rather than coming to me, they have to go talk to my husband about it and get him to try to talk reason into me to take it off the internet. No. You don't get to control me. You don't get to decide for me what makes you look bad. Like it's that kind of thing that I just can't deal with. I can't. And it just drives me crazy. And so it's like, if you don't fit into this box, then, and it's been every church I've ever gone to, and I've been to quite a few. And even in Chicago, when my husband did his internships up there, there was one woman who would constantly, oh my gosh, hang on. Oh, I had to get that last sip in before I tell you guys this. There was one woman, she was the youth director, and there were only like 3 kids in the youth group. She would constantly flirt with my husband. And my husband is so dumb when it comes to recognizing that somebody's flirting with him. Now, I'm not a jealous person. And if she was flirting with him, like, I wouldn't necessarily care. But here's where it crossed the line for me. She would completely ignore my presence standing right next to him. She would look at him and talk to him. She wouldn't look at me and acknowledge that I was talking. And it was just kind of very awkward every single time. And no, I kid you not. You know, it was one of those stupid girl things. And so that would bother me. And I would tell him, and he just didn't, it's like he couldn't see it. I mean, he was like, we got married young. I was 22. He was 2 weeks shy of 21. So at the time that this was happening, he was probably about to turn 22 and I was probably 23. But regardless, he's like, I just don't see it. And, whatever. And so it came to a head when we were doing some youth group thing where we had a game night or a game afternoon or something. And we had different stations set up with different video game systems. And one of them had is it Rock Band or Guitar Hero. And this song came on that I didn't recognize right away. And she was super excited about it. I was like, oh, I don't recognize this song. And from across the room, she leaned over and yelled in front of the 5 people that were there. You don't recognize this song? It was such an overreaction. And then I was like, no. And so I pulled my husband aside. I was like, did you see that? do you get it now? And he's like, yeah, that was over the top. And so from that point, he started actually understanding what I was talking about and noticing those things. And so when his internship was over, he didn't go back. And I just felt like that was just such a rotten experience, especially because I remember when we first started going to that church, we got the program for the service, and at the beginning of the service, I would read the program, and it had her bio in it, and the first thing it said was, as a single person. And I'm like, why are you trying to mack on my man? He's like, 8 years younger than you, and married, by the way. So anyway, but yeah. All right, let me go back and read these comments because, I had to tell that story without getting distracted. Let's see. Beliefs are beliefs. Everyone has the right to them without forcing others to believe it too. Yeah, I agree. Yes, I have the mindset of believe what you want, believe what you want, but don't force it on others, but it's being forced. Agreed. I've experienced the more prophetic. Some are the more self-righteous and judgmental, yet most guilty. Yep. Good for you listening to your gut feeling. I would have wanted someone more real than to play a part. Agreed. Completely agree. And I think that is something I've learned as I've gotten older, is that authenticity is the biggest core value that I have. And I can smell BS from a mile away. So if a lot of church going folk are full of that, like I can't stand when I will walk into a church and everybody has those big old smiles on. They're so glad that you're there. And then you go sit down and they want you to like handshake and greet everyone around, say, God bless that you're here. It's like, I know it's not authentic. Like, you wouldn't know me a week from now if I came back. And that's not the kind of relationship I want with the people that I'm supposed to be worshiping around. And I get it. That's the society we've set up, and some people like that, but that's not for me. And don't tell me that somehow I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing as a Christian by not going to church, because I don't like that. It's not one size fits all. Oh, I'm about to get on a soapbox, you guys. I got to stop. Okay. As if my husband is in charge of me, right? Yeah. And that's what my husband was like. He's like, I'm not going to tell her to do that. My husband is a million. Oh, hang on. I got to do the puzzle piece here so I can stay on the live. My husband is 1,000,000% of supportive of me, and he always has been. And he will never, ever try to silence me. So, yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, I could tell you stories, girl. I would love to hear some. Tell me some stories, girl. That's that sneaky mean girl thing. Manipulative. Right, Rose? Yeah. And guys, they don't see it. Like, they just don't see it. And it's like, come on. Taylor Swift has so many songs about this by now. You should know. Come on, guys. So y'all are ironclad. Oh yeah. We're about to celebrate our 20th wedding anniversary. We've been together it'll be 26 years at the end of this year. You could have made it super uncomfortable and start flirting with her. At the time I was just young and insecure. And so I didn't know what to do. I think when I hit my 40s, I really just stopped giving the Fs, and it became much easier to look back at those times and know what I would have done differently. But yeah, I probably would have. Same pet peeve. I had to stop because of all of that. So fake. Yeah. Like I mean, and you guys, I can't say the name of my website, but like even there, like I am so committed to authenticity and transparency that even on my affiliate links, I literally list the last date that I bought something because I don't want people to go on there and think that I'm pushing products that I've never used or that I didn't buy myself. And if it is a product that I have that I didn't buy, that I know was a gift for a project that I did for someone, I literally put that on there. I think there's one item that I put on there that I haven't personally used, that I've never used before. And I put on there that I've never used it because what I do use is a brush that they don't even make anymore, that I cut down myself, but that it gets good reviews and it seems to be a good option. It's it's like a gilding brush. But I'm very transparent about it because I value authenticity to my core. It's in everything that I do. So I can't just go to a church and I feel so prickly when like my parents ask me to go to church for Christmas or for Easter. And I started just flat out saying no years ago. So they know not to ask me anymore. But I mean, I did go when my sister-in-law got baptized, but that was the last time I went. But it just seems like such a show. And, everybody's talking about sports metaphors that I don't get, or it's like a concert and everybody's supposed to put up their hands and just feel this certain way. And I just am looking around feeling so icky that my skin is crawling and I don't want to feel that way. And at one point in my life, I didn't feel that way, but I do feel that way. So Elsie says, same this year. My husband and I have been together 25 years. Congratulations. That's awesome. No Wire Hangers ever says, good morning, just passing through. Wanted to stop and say that your painting is really beautiful. Thank you so much. I appreciate you stopping in to say that. Yeah, this live turned into a much deeper conversation than I had anticipated. Oh, it looks like I am caught up on the comments now. I also paint. Amazing. What do you paint? What is your paint medium? Or do you just paint whatever you can get your hands on? I think I'm going to go with this blue. Ah! Oops. Apparently its little magnet is also trying to come off. My last experience in Mass, I left so angry because gospel was twisted into political opinion. Yep. Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, and it's like, I hate it when people say, oh, if you don't vote for this person, then you can't be a Christian. Or if you can't be this, you can't be a Christian. Or, any number of things. Or then you can't believe in God if this or that or the other. It's like, you can't tell me that God checks certain boxes and that's it. Like, it's not black and white. And even if you read the Bible, there are situations that happen in the Bible where things are not black and white. There are so many gray areas and things happen. And, they like to say that God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And while that may be true, I just feel like as cultures change and evolve and all of that stuff, like what's right and wrong may not always be the same. You know what I mean? Like, and it may not. I'll give you an example. When I was a teenager, I felt heavily convicted about listening to secular music. So I only listened to Christian music. And I don't know if it's because it had a strong hold on my mind. It made me feel a certain way or whatever. So for years, maybe 2 years, I only listened to Christian music. And then eventually I didn't feel that guilt anymore. So I went back to listening to just regular music. And now I only listen to regular music basically. I mean, I'll listen to Christian music here and there. Like I love the supertones. But it's not wrong for anybody else to listen to secular music. And it wasn't wrong for me either. It was just an inclination where I felt like I needed to do that for myself, whether it was for my mental well-being or out of some sort of obedience or something. I don't know. But like, that's just kind of what I feel like. Let me get rid of this thing. That's just what I feel like has been the case for me in the past. Now, is that the case for me now or in the future? I don't know. It's not the case for me now, but will it be in the future? I don't know. But I just think it's such a personal thing, religion and worship and faith. And it looks different at different stages of life. Like when my son was born, a lot of you who have followed me for a couple of weeks since I started going live, you know that he was born with a congenital heart defect. And at 2 weeks of age, he had to have an open heart surgery. And then he had a complication to it the next day. They had to open him bedside. They took him back to the cath lab to figure out what was wrong. And when they took him back to the OR, on their way to the OR to fix the problem, he went into VFib and arrested. And he was dead for 18 minutes. And they did finally get him back. And they had to do the cooling protocol to preserve his brain. And then they put him on life support for 2 days before he developed a brain bleed and had to take him off of life support. But before they took him off life support, he got a partial lung collapse. Like, the poor kid. Like, you better believe I was praying and begging God that he does not take my little boy home. I was not wanting to say goodbye to my little boy. I mean, who wants to do that? Nobody wants to do that. But somehow, some way, God, in my opinion, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm going to cry. God performed a miracle in my little boy. And you would never know that almost 8 years later, he went through all of that. And that's the kind of God that I want to serve. And that's the kind of God that I want to worship. And no amount of going to church. Oh my gosh, you guys, hang on. No amount of going to church and people telling me what I should believe and what I should pray and that I should fast or anything like that is going to tell me how I should lead my faith. Only God can do that. And he can only do it by persuading me and putting convictions into me. And if ever I have learned something, that is the period of my life that I learned it the hardest and the most, because I have seen so many children go down that path on that floor and not make it out. Oh gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry. Because once they end up on ECMO, they usually don't come off. And we are just so fortunate that he did, and that he does not really have any deficits from it. He does have heart arrhythmias. He also had a lot of behavioral issues that stemmed from not being able to be held for the first 2 months, practically. Not having his needs met as a baby for those first couple of months. He had reactive attachment disorder. He had adjustment disorder, oppositional defiance disorder, but we were able to kind of recognize that something was wrong when he was young, like 18 months-ish and up, and kind of figure out how to get him help from that point and work with him. So, oh gosh, I need a tissue. That's the kind of God that I want to serve. Now, had it gone the other way and he did pass away, there's still a God I want to serve there too. But it's not the picture that the church wants to paint for me. And it's the God that I want to experience is not the one that the church wants to paint for me. That's all. All right, let me go read. Sorry. Don't get me wrong. When this accident happened, with my daughter, I was praying the rosary harder than, okay, hang on. Let me go back. I think I missed something. Elsie said, pretty much whatever, but mainly acrylic. Nice. My daughter stole all my acrylic, so I'm basically out of all my acrylic, though I did just get another tube of white in because that's the one that I use the most. My last experience in Mass, I left so angry because gospel was just, it was obnoxious. Elsie says, can't stand that. Natalie says, don't get me wrong. When this accident happened with my daughter, I was praying the rosary harder than I ever had. But this was my peace, my strength, my truth, not for everyone else to know at that time. It was not a performance for others to approve or disapprove, right? I believe the angel in her console save her. I believe the angel in her console save her. The power of presence is real in my heart. My mom is an angel in my heart. She was there. Cry it waters the love in our hearts. Sending you so many. Oh, thank you. Sorry, you guys. Gross. So sorry. Elsie says we lost our 15-year-old nephew. I believe that changed us as a whole family. It does. It absolutely changes the family. Let me sanitize my hands. I mean, how do you... It's like you have this outlier forever. It's like instead of having everybody together, not necessarily under one roof because, they're not your child, but they're your nephew. You just have, instead of being like this whole, you just have this outlier because a chunk of it is missing and it can never be put back. And it's not like it has scar tissue that forms over. It's just always gone. It crushed me when my mom was asking, what was I praying for? Well, for peace, for a moment of reprieve, for God to hold you for a little bit and make you feel just a little bit better for a moment, and to maybe comfort your families, Yeah. I'm so sorry to hear that. You guys, this has been a really good conversation this morning. I'm so glad that we got to spend this time together. And he wasn't protected. When you say he wasn't protected, I'm not sure if you're Catholic, and I've never practiced Catholicism, so I don't necessarily understand everything as it relates to when someone passes. Because I think there's something there, after they pass, you're supposed to pray for their soul to do something. Do you mind elaborating on that? My older brother converted to Orthodox Judaism many, many years ago, and I know they have some different beliefs around what happens when someone passes as well. Would you mind expanding on that a little so I can understand more? Hi, Holly Ann. Thank you so much for your comment. Oh, gotcha. Holiness Pentecostal. Okay. I'm not familiar with that. There are 7 sacraments. That is the last. I don't practice though. I see. I used to work with someone who was a very devoted Catholic, but I don't know much about it. She didn't really talk about it. Thank you for the follow, Holly. All right, guys, we're on the last one here. I think it's going to have to be blue because you know how much I love blue. She was just praying to protect her children. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah, and I could have this part wrong, but last I remember, when my brother told me what they believe in their Orthodox Judaism, they are Chabad Lubavitch. There's something about like their souls wander the earth for 11 months. Something like that. And then I don't remember what happens after that. I just remember they say that they their souls wander the earth for 11 months. So I don't know. Let's see here. You got it. I'm a watercolor artist, so I had to come check it out. Awesome. Well, thanks for checking it out. I'll give you a little background, Holly. I go live usually between 8:30 and 9 in the morning and 8:30 and 9 in the evening Eastern time. This morning I decided to just do something easy because a lot of people, they come to my channel and I don't want them to feel overwhelmed if they've never picked up a paintbrush before. So I try to include some easier days where they can literally just pick up a paintbrush and make marks. And it sometimes looks good. It sometimes doesn't. But this morning was just supposed to be a fun, easy practice. Sometimes you do get these little white gaps like this, you know, whatever. It is what it is. But I can just easily take this. Oh, wait, I already have that color there. I can just take this and grab, say, let's go with a pink. And just very easily add this right here. And then let's add, and this isn't going to go very well on this one because it's not quite the same size, but we'll just add that one there for good measure. Excuse me. So that's what we're painting today. If I had more time, and I didn't plan on this part taking an hour and a half, but you know, sometimes that's just what happens and we get to talking and whatnot. And that's part of why I love doing this. I'll take like a Posca marker and I'll start drawing doodles inside some of these. I might accent with some Winsor & Newton ink in gold. This is my favorite gold ink ever. So yeah, you can turn this into so many different things. You could even cut this out and make it into some form of collage work. You could use it in bullet journaling, just all sorts of different things you can do with it. So yeah, just wanted to fill you in on that. Let's see here. Let me go back up here. Make sure I get all the comments. Holly Ann says, my boyfriend is Jewish, but he doesn't practice either. LOL. So I'm no help. Yeah. My brother, we're not Jewish by lineage or religion. But I have 2 older brothers and 1 younger brother. My immediate older brother is the one that is Jewish. He went after he graduated high school. He, I think, was feeling very disconnected from Christianity because that was kind of his identity in high school. And he didn't want to go to college. And I think he just felt really far away from God. And he found Messianic Judaism, which was kind of like a Christianity, but celebrating the Jewish holidays. And I think kind of the motions of doing the things that they did in Judaism made him feel closer to God. So he decided to go over to Israel and kind of explore a little bit there, and way led to way. And he decided he wanted to become Jewish over the course of about 2 years. And so he started the conversion process. And then he lived in Israel for a bit. and eventually moved to New York afterwards. And he eventually met and married his wife there. Then they moved to Miami and started having kids, and they've lived in Miami now for 17 years. So, yeah, they've been Orthodox, very strict. You know, that is their choice and their thing. It's certainly not a lifestyle I could uphold, and I can see why a lot of Jewish people don't. But to each their own. Elsie says, so glad I found you. I'm glad I found you. Holly says, please don't understand how difficult water is and they get frustrated. This is lovely. Thank you. Natalie says, I love this design. And then she sent me a bunch of little, I think these are, I can't even tell what kind of emojis these are, boo. I think they're hearts. It looks kind of like an apple with like a wrap around its head holding a heart, but I could be wrong. And then Holly Ann says, the amount of work just keeping dishes separate would be too much for me. Yeah, it is a ton of work. When we went to their wedding, of course, they had the partition. Men were separated from the women. And, you know, we had to do the whole thing with the, where you cover your elbows. Women had to wear skirts and not pants. And I didn't wear a wig. I wasn't going to do that. But, you know, we tried to be as respectful as we could, being Gentiles, technically. So all that stuff. Oh, Elsie. Yeah. So in Orthodox Jewish culture, they are some of the strictest of the strict when it comes to religion and following certain laws and things like that. I think there's like 600 and some laws they follow, and religious laws. And so one of them is women must cover their heads if they're married. So a lot of them wear wigs because they don't want to, you know, cover it with a wrap of some sort. They're also not allowed to show their elbows. They're not allowed to wear pants. So they wear skirts instead, but they can't show their legs. I'm trying to think of some of the other things. Men have to wear the kippah because they're not supposed to show the top of their heads to God. Sometimes they can wear a hat instead. My brother wears the tzitzit. I forget what it stands for, but you know, it's like the tassels that I think stand for like the four corners of something. I could be wrong. That's a good question. Elsie says, is it kind of like a more in-depth 10 commandments? And I don't know for sure. I just know that there's a lot of Jewish laws, and I'm sure that that's part of it. I know that my brother has to pray multiple times a day. There are certain things he has to do. I know there's a special cup he has to like wash his hands with a certain way. And I can't remember when that is. I know that they have to eat certain foods. So of course there's kosher and non-kosher foods. They always have to eat kosher, but then there's like, I think it's parv or parev that stands for like dairy, and they can't have like dairy within a certain number of hours after they've eaten, I think, a meat. I don't know. I'm sure somebody's going to correct me at some point if they watch this video on a replay and can expand on that. But anyway, they have a lot of things like that they follow. And then from sundown Friday night to sundown Saturday night is their holy day, or Shabbat. And so they can't turn on and off electricity. So they have timers, at least my brother does. They have timers that turn things on and off for them. They have a heat plate that keeps all their food warm. So they have to prepare all the food in advance for that. And then when they break Shabbos at sundown on Saturday, and they have a meal. My brother usually goes to the synagogue, I think, to pray on Friday nights. And then I think he spends most of Saturday praying at the synagogue on Saturday. So just a lot like that. Yes, Holly Ann says women have to bathe after their periods to cleanse their body every month, and it's like a whole day. Yeah, it's called the mikveh. And then Elsie says, oh, so like a discipline thing. Yes. Yes. It's Jewish law. Yeah, so it's a mikveh. It's all very interesting. Again, it's not something that I would ever be able to keep up with. I would be a terrible Orthodox Jew. But it's definitely a lifestyle that if you choose to do it, you're very, very devoted. Yeah, yeah. But they have, like, for example, we have Halloween, they have Purim, but they celebrate Purim for a different reason than we celebrate Halloween, and they're kind of like 6 months apart. So like our Easter, like around Easter, I can't remember when their Purim is, but it's in the springtime, and our Halloween is in the fall time. But they get to dress up and wear costumes and that sort of thing. Holly Ann says, my boyfriend just did that. It's to celebrate joy and happiness. It's very sweet. Yeah, and it has to do with Queen Esther, I think. I could be wrong. You know, you would think that since I have a brother that has been doing this for 17 plus years, that I would remember these things better. But I don't. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I have a hard enough time keeping my days straight. So, but yeah, so I try to remember what I can, but I can't always remember the details. And that's what Google's for, right? So, but yes, a lot of their traditions are really beautiful. They just came off of Passover. Actually, my parents just came back this past Monday from hanging out with them for a few days. They have 4 kids as well. They're all growing so fast. Yeah, it is interesting. It's really fascinating. Not something that I could do, for sure. But again, if it's a lifestyle that you choose or you're born into, and it's just like the thing that you know, maybe it's easier because you know it. I don't know. But you know, it's interesting for sure, but I couldn't do it. I definitely couldn't do it. Yeah, but all right. Well, this has been a fun hour and a half and really, really amazing conversations. I really appreciate those of you who have stayed and talked. And thank you, Gwendolyn. I'm sorry you're coming in at the very tail end of this. This was a very easy project just so that people who are new to watercolor can just come in and put their brushes on paper and just make some marks. So yeah. But yes, the conversation was really wonderful, and I'm really glad. Oh, thank you. I go live between 8:30 and 9 a.m. Eastern Time, as well as 8:30 and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Natalie says, loved being here. I hope you have a fabulous day and look forward to the next visit. Me too. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. But yes, really amazing conversation. I'm so glad it didn't turn into anything ugly. Like I said, I very much respect everybody's opinions and really, 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 really value authenticity. So thank you for being authentically you in the comments and being respectful about it as well. Sounds great. Yeah. Usually in the evenings, I call it pajamas and tea. I don't usually drink tea. I usually just drink water, but it sounded good, right? And I usually, if for whatever reason can't make it in one of the mornings or the evenings, I'll leave a little note in my little bubble above my head on my profile picture to let you know. So I hope that you all enjoy the rest of your day and do something creative for yourself. Pick up a brush, do something, all that good stuff. Let's see, pajamas and tea, teen be in the gossip of the day. Heck yeah. Yeah. All All right, you all. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you tonight. Mwah! Bye. You too, Holly Ann. Bye-bye. Okay, I am back. Sorry about that. Okay, so I figured you as the viewers get to decide what we do tonight. Either we are going to pick up where we left off earlier today with this piece, which was the piece that we did this morning, or we could do some collage work, or collage paper work rather, where we do collage papers together. So I have some stencils that I thought maybe we could use. And I have to apologize for my barking dog. Of course, everything would go astray the second that I get on a live. My kid would decide to use a pencil sharpener that squeaks like bloody murder, and my dog would then freak out about, because, you know, why not? Now, normally I need to wear my glasses, but I'm freaking overheating over here. My hair is wet, just got out of the shower. Good times, right? So I have these stencils, so I'm going to wait for a couple of you guys to join, see what's going on, see where we can go from here. And if you guys decide that you want to do the collage papers, we'll work with these. If not, we can work on this. So I've got some Posca markers we can work on. Oh, my stupid camera is going to be dramatic, isn't it? I don't understand why it keeps doing that. So I've got my Posca markers, got my gold ink, and I'm feeling like this is kind of what I want to work on versus this, because I would be using some paste with this, which I don't mind doing, but I do have some news that I can tell you guys. I'm super excited. I did get my first Amazon Creator Connections deal, where a company is sending me some modeling paste to try out. And I don't know when I'm going to get it. It's probably going to be within the next week or so. So I'll get to try it live on camera with you guys. And I'm really excited about that. So I'll keep you posted on that. But so if you want to do collage papers, we can do collage papers. But if you want to do some doodles in this and pick up where we left off from this morning, let me know in the comments. If you're just now joining, thank you so much for being here. I very much appreciate it. And be sure to share this live with your following, because I am in TikTok jail right now and they are not showing my stuff on your For Your page the way that they used to. So I would really appreciate a shout out and a share if you wouldn't mind. All right. I think that's all the housekeeping that I needed to do. I'm going to drink some water. And if there are no comments and it looks like no viewers, then I think I'll just decide to go here and get this going. And I think I'll take my hair down too, because it's starting to drip on the back of my neck and it's really annoying. So we'll just do that. Okay, so we're going to start here with this. Got my brushes, and you know how much I love reflective stuff. Why are you such a dramatic camera? I don't know why it does this whole thing where it like connects and then disconnects and connects and disconnects. I wish I could tell you, but I can't. So I love using my script liner brush with my gold ink. Part of me is also wondering if I should bring in some adhesive sizing. Guys, did I tell you that I finally found an extra squeeze bottle that I could cut the tip off of and use for adhesive sizing? It is a little blobby though, so I do think that we're going to have some problems there, but might not be a bad idea to give it a try. I kind of want to do that because that could be fun. I don't know. Let's do it. I'm all about the experimenting. Oh, I don't think that was deep enough. Let's try again. That's what she said. Okay. All right. We got us a little hole. That's also what she said. All right. I'm going to just put a little bit on a napkin. And this is why I wear my glasses, guys. Not because I can't see without them, because I get this crazy eye strain. There we go. Okay, okay. We're in business with this. Oh, who's with me tonight? It's Katie. What you doing, Katie? Hey, girl. Hey, thanks for joining. Okay, shoot. Okay. I see C joined too from yesterday. Otherwise, it's a pretty lonely chat in here tonight. Share it with your friends because I'm still in TikTok jail. And can you see I just got out of the shower? After I finished chatting with you, I had to quickly try to scarf down some very bland white rice because of, you know, the diarrheas. And then take a quick shower, not because of that, just because I needed one and I didn't get a chance to do it earlier today. So I was like, let me try to fit this in before my live. Hi, C, how you doing? Trying to get your baby to go to sleep. Well, I hope that your baby goes to sleep. I don't think I will be any help of getting your baby to sleep, but maybe. I'm going to grab some of my foil here because I think we're going to work in foil today. It's going to be fun. We painted this morning for those of you that are just now joining that weren't there this morning. And yeah, I don't think it's food poisoning. I've been struggling with some illness all week. Are we the same person? Just had white rice about to shower. We might be. Yeah, I've had some weird illness. Like it started off pretending like it was kind of going towards the flu. Then it kind of went towards like being a cold. And then it went towards like a sore throat. And then it went back towards acting like it was going to like give me the chills. But it was more like, you know, when you're sick and you have that wave of where you feel like a wave come on of chill and like goosebumps, but it never turns into the chills, but your skin feels like extra sensitive. That's what it was like. Maybe chicken noodle soup. He's in his room crying. We're doing the cry it out thing. Oh gosh, that's miserable. We've done that more than I can count. But yeah, and then yesterday it started, actually no, Tuesday, it started turning into the stomach rumbles. Then yesterday it was full on stomach rumbles. And then last night I thought we were good. And then this morning it was like, bam. And I'm like, good gosh. So anyway, because a girl's got to eat. I mean, I can't even eat, but you know, I got to keep pushing forward to try to pay my bills, girl. That's what this is all about, is trying to get, you know, my Amazon influencer stuff up and running and building that community. And every day is a challenge, but I just keep showing up. All right, so we've got some adhesive sizing here that I managed to find a squeeze bottle for. And so I am going to just start painting some designs with some adhesive sizing. And the designs aren't going to be anything like super crazy. I don't want it to be super thick. So I'm going to kind of move the edges around with the tip of the bottle. Oh dear. And make sure that it doesn't leave a big blob behind, just because if it does, it'll not only take forever to dry, but when it is finally dry, it'll stay sticky and gummy and kind of tear the foil that is sticking to it. So yeah, I'm just going to add some little like ovals, if you will. Maybe just kind of the indications of some starting there. That one's a bit too thick. Right there. All right. Now, I think I'm going to use it to also kind of highlight some of these areas where we have this watercolor blooming, because I think it makes some really interesting, like geode almost looking shapes. So I like to, usually in my paintings at least, go in and kind of just create some little veins. Oh dear. And, you know, just get these nice thin veining looking marks. And sometimes I'll branch off from them and see what it looks like. And if you need to, if you take it a little too far, you can always just take a stick or like the end of your paintbrush and kind of just lift a little bit off and then just dab it on a paper towel. My face is overheated. You can see all the red from my shower. So I took my glasses off, so I'm having a bit of a hard time reading this, but let me go back up. The Amazon thing seems difficult. It is definitely a lot of hoops to jump through in the beginning. I'm still waiting for my 3 videos to get approved, but they also have the creator commissions. And that's the thing that I'm trying. That's where like you can request samples of things be sent to you to review. And then those items, once you get approved for on-site commissions, they can place your videos on the actual like listing on Amazon, and you can get paid if people purchase the item because of your review, your video review. But you can only upload 3 in the beginning, wait to be approved, and then you can start uploading more and then posting those to your social. Now, I wasn't planning on TikTok like being the place that I post those to. I have a Pinterest, I have a YouTube, and I just started a new Instagram just for that very reason, because I don't want to like bombard my audience with a bunch of crap they don't want to see. I don't do the whole bait and switch thing. So, but like if it's art related, I definitely like want to show what I'm getting and what I'm working on and if I like it or not. So, but yeah. Oh, Katie and Art by Derek, thank you for sending me the roses and the heart me. You're very kind. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the shares, Katie. Amazing. Derek says really beautiful work, or beautiful work, really. Thank you. And okay, we got this going down tonight. And I might make another little go at these little veins over here in this bloom, just to give the indication of like, again, a little geode of some sort. That's the other thing with this illness. It's like, oh, do you want to lose your voice or do you not? It just comes and goes as it pleases. But I'm ready for it to be over. And this weekend, we are celebrating my little brother's 40th birthday. It's weird to say little brother 40. So we have all sorts of stuff. And some of my followers that have been around for a couple of weeks on my lives know that I have created a spoof on The Price is Right called The Crisis Right. And so I've been putting that together. It's going to be awesome. It's all going to be about, you know, midlife crises and all that stuff. But there's like stuff for like my kids to be able to play and, you know, stuff that makes sense to them. Like maybe their Robux run out, and then there's stuff for like my parents where like that my kids wouldn't know, like maybe they don't know how much a long distance phone call costs per minute, or they won't understand like nights and weekends and that sort of thing. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited. And then we're 3D printing a wheel to spin. I started trying to make it out of cardboard last night before I went live, but it was so big that I couldn't get the sides reinforced. I didn't have a big enough piece of cardboard to reinforce the sides of the wheel to spin on a piece of PVC. And I was kind of bummed because it was going to be so like homemade looking, and it was going to be big enough to spin and like really get into and be excited about. And then nope. I even messaged one of my neighbors that I knew had some boxes at one point recently to say, hey, do you still have some? Like, hook a sister up. She had gotten rid of them. I was like, man. So it's all right though. It'll still be fun. But yeah, and then we're doing like a grill out for him on Sunday, given the weather stays nice. I'm just kind of moving this around in random directions to see what kind of thing it's going to do. Let's see here. So I don't know if I'm going to do gold in like gold leafing in like every single one. But I do want to make sure that I have enough kind of scattered throughout so it looks more even. What I might do is put some in here because I know the gold is going to look really nice up against this blue. So I might just bring some little dots, just kind of scattered in here. Doesn't need to be anything like super precise. Just small so that they don't take over like these kind of do up here. Here we go. And maybe we kind of bring some scratchy looking lines in here. And maybe we'll bring some over to here. I'm trying to think of something I might like. Oh, let's do some circles. That would look kind of cool, I think, anyway. We'll find out, won't we? I can hear my husband saying my name out there to one of my kids, saying my web address, and I do not know why. I don't know if he's trying to like log them onto my TikTok so they can watch me live, because he does do that sometimes, in which case I gotta be on my better behavior, you know what I mean? I'll see if his name comes up. If it says Colby Shannon, you guys tell me. Oh, I think it's got another clog. Let me try to get that out. Let's see here. Sorry, I was away from my phone for a minute. Tristan was still crying because he lost his bottle. Oh, that's always sad. You're like, oh, buddy, you're not supposed to lose your baba. And then you said, happy birthday to your brother. Do zigzags too if you want. Okay, I will definitely do that. This one ended up a bit too big. That's okay. We'll just go with it because why not? All right, let's do zigzags here. This will look cool with zigzags. It'll be a little bit broken up, but I think that's what makes it look cool. Oh no, come back. We might have another clog. We got a big clog here. I'm pushing oh, there it goes. Nope. Oof. Okay. Let me see if I can pull it out. Because I think I'm pushing it really hard. That's what she said. I'm afraid the sizing is going around it and the clog is just staying in the end. It might just have to end there, you guys. We'll see. I don't know if you can see me trying to push this. I used to keep a little pin in here, but I don't think I have it in here anymore. I gotta put my glasses back on. That's better. No, this is a pain in my butt. Let me see if I still have a pen. I used to keep one somewhere over here, but I'm not seeing it. Nope. Well, let me see if maybe I can use this. Nope, that's not sharp enough. Oh, you know what? Let's try this. Come on. Why you gotta be such a pain? Rude. Trying to make me look bad on TikTok to like the 2 people that are watching. The 1 person that is watching. Oh, man. All right, let's see if I can dig it out. Oh, there it was. You see that? Gross. Hopefully that was the one. Let me try that again. Oh no, there's got to be another one in there. There it is. See it? All right. This stuff is so sticky. I mean, it's supposed to be, right? Oh, I can see it right there. I'm afraid this adhesive sizing is just gonna push it right back in. I'm so sorry, you guys. Give me 1 sec. Let me just hold it up to the light so I can see. No, I don't see a clog in there. It might just be a darker spot. I think we'll be all right. The whole purpose of this bottle was to keep my hands clean. It's like a sticky goop that dried. So this normally comes in this thing, and eventually it gets around the edges and doesn't seal closed all the way. And so sometimes it gets those dried globs in them, or partially dried globs. And so I put it in here in hopes of being able to use it like this. Looks like I'm gonna need to buy some more. Oh, good gosh. Well, that's on that page now. Okay, we got a little bit. Let's see if I can finish these zigzags. We did it! Yes! Okay, good. Now, let's add some to this purple here. I think maybe some more dots. Ooh, that was a big poppy dot, apparently. Let's make these just some random little spotty ones, since he popped there. Okay. And then let's pick one more, kind of like this one. We'll just kind of do some irregular lines across. I'm going to go over that one again, make it just a little bit thicker. And then I'll put a thin one, a somewhat thin one close to it maybe. And then another thinner one, like that. All right, there we go. I'm going to put this very sticky mess away and try to clean up my hand a little bit from it. That's what she said. Okay, so I don't think I have any rubbing alcohol in here, which is normally how I clean it up because I had to use it somewhere else the other day. But I will use some hand sanitizer that I have. That should help a little bit. Okay, so we're going to give that a little bit of time to dry. And then let me just get this off my desk. And it's on this piece of paper underneath. And my hair is also going to want to stick to it. And I think we're good. Fun times, right? Let's see here. It's me. I sent you my mama too, but she might be asleep. Oh, that's okay. I know it's kind of late. I usually try to go on closer to 8:30, but my son was being a pain about his homework. And I was like, you know what? Fine. I'll go on at 9. I usually try to say I'll go on at 9 just to give me that buffer. But if I can see that the night's going on, you know, to plan, then I'll get on earlier and all that good stuff, but it was not going to happen tonight. Okay, so you'll know that this is ready to have the foil applied once it dries clear like this. So I'm going to bring this up a little closer so you can see, like, this is what we just applied is white, but the stuff that's actually dry is clear. So that's how you know that that part's ready. And then for the rest of it, I usually just use a white Posca pen, a Posca marker. This is an acrylic paint marker. You can use whatever you have. I don't like the white gel pens because they don't tend to have as much white payoff as the acrylic paint pens do. And so this is where I just kind of start doing some mark making. And I do a lot of the same mark making as I just did on, I'm sorry, I still have stickies on my hands, as I did on my adhesive sizing that I just did. So I might start here and kind of just start tracing where this bloom is. And then from there, I might make it a little bit more visually appealing by adding some dots along there with it. This is where I really love doodling because it's very meditative. You don't have to overthink it, and it doesn't have to look any certain way, you know? And if I wanted to, I could enclose this in another line, or I could do another line over here. Or I could do like a little design in here if I wanted to. But I think for now I'm going to leave it the way that it is in there. That way, once all of this is dry, I can kind of see what I'm working with and then decide if I want to go a little bit more with it or not. You said, yeah, I saw it. What is it? Are you talking about the adhesives? Oh, the globs. That's right. That was the glob. I already answered that. Darn, sorry. And then I might do something else in some of these where I'm actually like doing other doodles. Like one of the doodles I like to do is kind of like this arched little botanic like this. And then maybe behind it, I'll add some circles just because it's fun. Also add some little dots. I'm all about the dots and circles, in case you're wondering. And I think that's good for that one. Let's see. Now let's go here, I think. And I think for this one, I want to maybe just make some of these little scale looking rainbow things. And then I'll do another row here. I may not go all the way to the top. I usually don't. They do tend to start to look busy. And then maybe from here, what I'll do is make a larger dot, then a smaller dot, and then a small dot to kind of fade it upwards. Like that. Thank you. I appreciate that. I am driving, like, the stickiness in the random spots on my hands drives me crazy. Crazy. I hope this dries quick so I can get the foil on here sooner than later. We'll see. All right, now let's move over to this one because this guy has like this little bloom here that I really like. So I'm going to just kind of outline it like this, and then maybe I don't know, maybe I'll leave it like that and then come over to this one and outline it like that. And then maybe within it, I'll have like another little circle. And let's do, God, everything's sticky. Oh, it's my hand. Jeez. And then I'll go and do maybe some lines. And then sometimes I like to like color in one of the lines here and there just to throw off the rhythm of it. Like that. And let's put some dots in the middle because again, you know I'm all about those dots. And I am not all about the stickiness that I keep feeling. All right. And then I might turn this way just so I don't put my hand in this. Let's say I might just sort of make this little rectangular shape. And then we're going to divide it like this. And then on this side, I'm going to divide it into these lines. And then on this side, I'm going to turn it into bubbles. I told you, I'm big on the circles. And I may go back in with some sizing at the end and, you know, add some interest to some of these just because, you know, you never know what it's going to look like until you do it. So anyway, let's see here. All right, I'm still caught up on the comments. So while these are still drying over here and my sticky hand is driving me crazy, I'm going to go in over here and grab, let's see, I think I've got most of my gold in this little pile right here. So this is the gold foil that I use. It's fake, of course. It's fake gold gilding or gilding foil. You can find this real cheap on Amazon. The stuff that I have bought in the past, they don't sell anymore, but you know, they just repackage it and sell it as something else. So I'm just going to lay this down here and pat it down like this. And then I'm going to take this side of the sheet and peel it up, let it rip wherever it's going to rip. And then I'm going to lay it down right here. Again, lay it down wherever it's going to rip. Then I'm going to put this here, let it rip, and then I'm going to put this here. This still isn't dry, so I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to try to pull some more of this because I know there's a big piece here that I can still use. And I'm going to place a chunk of that right here. And then I'm going to tear off that little piece and place it there. And I'll save this for just a little bit. And then once this is dry and this is dry, we'll add 2 pieces over that and then we'll wipe it away with the paintbrush. I usually use this old makeup brush right here. Ta-da! that I cut at an angle, which also has sticky fuzzies on it. And I just put it in this little bucket. So anyway, that's the goal with what we're doing with that. All right, so I'm going to keep going with this. And not every single one of these needs to have a, the sticky stuff is like taking over my hand. Now my hair is getting into it. There we go. All right, so not every single one of these bricks needs to have something going on in it. But I do like to have them kind of spread evenly throughout. So I'm going to come down here and maybe just kind of like doodle some in this corner. And maybe make like this little flower. Just kind of add some little details here. And then maybe over here, I'll add some more indications of some sort of, I don't know, blossom. It's kind of more of a modern look. And then maybe some little star shapes. It's like each brick is like its own new little landscape picture that you can create something new with. There we go. And let's see. Let's go for, I think, this guy right up here, because he's pretty dark. I think I want to do some sort of botanical in here as well. So maybe for this one, we will go and do kind of a loose vining with like a little tiny floral at the top. So maybe this one kind of goes like this. And then it has sort of this little, and then let's maybe add another little one right here. And then we can add maybe just some little swirlies. And dots, because why not? We all love dots. All right, this is almost dry. Oh, let's see here. Katie says, let me tell you, my mama has so much art stuff she doesn't use anymore. If you need something, I can send it to a P.O. box or something. Girl, I don't have a P.O. box. What is your favorite color to work with? That's a hard one. That's what she said. I would say if I had to pick, I really love turquoise. Turquoise or teal, one of like kind of in that family. I usually say aqua. Aqua is like the thing that I always go to for like this sort of thing. But if I'm like doing my art for like day in and day out, I usually always go for some form of blue. So I would say, yeah, I would go for a Cascade Green or phthalo turquoise or indigo. Not as much Payne's gray because it doesn't have as much of that blue pigment in it as I like. I love the cobalt blue. I love the cobalt teals. Yeah, that would be my favorite color. And then, of course, my signature move is always some sort of reflective material. Which, by the way, Katie, I promised you some pictures of that original artwork that I showed you last night. I took those pictures and I'm going to send them to you after this live. I took them, and I took your advice. I took them upstairs to my room, and I'm going to hang them up there probably tonight before I go to bed. So I'm going to send you those pictures after this live. I took them right before I got in the shower, so I wouldn't forget. Yellows, oranges, and reds. Yay. My mom's favorite colors are yellows, oranges, and reds, and they remind me of her. And you know, there are times where like I do like those colors. It just depends on what it is I'm working on. But like if I had to like sit down and I could only paint with one color for the rest of my life, it would be a shade of blue for sure. A shade of aqua or teal for sure. It would not be yellow or red or orange because they make me tense. And I like the calming sort of blues. And maybe that's because I grew up with my mom who's into the bright reds. Actually, my mom, funny story, she is, I don't know if you know anything about the Enneagram, but she's a type 8, if that says anything. And very take charge, very in control, not controlling, in control. There's a difference. But anyway, so she has been known for years to have bright red lipstick that is never not on, and her hair does not move. And so everybody knows my mom by her bright blonde yellow hair that does not move and her bright red lipstick that does not move. It's so funny. Oh, yeah, you should look up the Enneagram. It's pretty cool. It's kind of like, I wouldn't call it personality typing, but if I had to relegate it to something like that, I would call it like personality typing. I am what I would call a 3-wing 4. Oh yeah, no lipstick or hair for me. I'm the total opposite of my mom. And it's funny because everybody used to say, "Oh, are you going to be like your mom when I grow up?" No. My mom was a nurse practitioner. She does blood and guts and, you know, science and math. I don't do any of that. I can't do any of that. So, no, thank you. She is a very smart woman, but just very opposite in a lot of ways. Tell by my videos about hair and makeup. Oh, of course, of course. That's funny. I bet you're a lot like my mom then. So I'm just using, let me bring this back in here. I'm just using this paintbrush to lightly brush away that gold foil here like this. And I'm just doing kind of a first pass. I'm not doing anything super aggressive because these other areas are still wet. And I just noticed a little piece here that I missed putting some foil on. So I'm just going to stick it and then remove it. Because again, I'm just trying to get a feel for the areas that have gold foil so I can kind of decide how much further I want to take the white doodling that we're doing and what kind of accents I might want to do to the white doodling in that gold. See, I don't know what type B or C means. Oh, it's very satisfying. Very satisfying. And when I said a lot like my mom, I mean like in the vibrant sort of way, if that makes sense. Like my mom likes like a cheery environment that's very bright. A mess. You're like, excuse me, Jen. Don't you dare lump me in with a type 8. But seriously, next time you are rocking a baby in the middle of the night and just scrolling away time on your phone, look up the Enneagram. I'll even try to remember to send you that word so that you don't have to write it down. It's really fascinating to read about. You don't need to like pay to take a test or anything. Just read about it and see what sounds like you. My bestie is a 4 wing 5. My husband is a 5. I tend to attract a lot of 2s. I know that doesn't mean anything to you right now, right? You're like, I don't know what any of this means. Come on. Do you like color on the walls of your house or agreeable gray? Oh my gosh. I almost went with agreeable gray for my house. Do you see the color of the wall in my background? It is not agreeable gray, but it is a new gray. Which is a very close agreeable gray. But my bathroom is, it is a custom mix. It's not rain washed. It's a little more teal than that. I'm an Aquarius if that's, no, see, I don't even know what that means. I'm so inept with that stuff. Maybe I just read too much into the Enneagram. I'm going with livable green. Yeah, I like that. Livable green's a good one. Now my daughter's room, I painted her closet some ugly shade of green that she likes. I call it pukey green. She calls it sage, but it is not sage in my opinion. So... all right, so I'm starting to get the feel that there's like a lot of gold over here, and I feel like it'll balance out over here really well once I can put that foil over here, but I'm feeling like we're missing a bit down here. So I think we're good on the foil up here. I want to add some more white blocks here, maybe another one down here. And then maybe just a couple of accents within some of these. That's the plan. Let's see here. Me either, but when we bought our house, all the ways... oh, yeah. All the walls were great. Yeah, that's how all these houses get sold. Shit green. So my daughter's room, my oldest one, when I did her nursery, it was like lime green with zebra accents. It was a whole time back then, though, which you should know because you had your first kid around that same time. But I loved that nursery, and she's so artistic and loves color and all sorts of stuff. And you know what? I kind of take credit for it because of that nursery. Just saying. Let's see. Trying to think of what I want to do here. Yes, but I also know what you told me about when you were a teenager. So, no zebra print for you. My room, I wanted black, but I was not allowed to have it black. So my mom painted it gray, but it was not grayish, like agreeable gray. It was like actually like gray. It was a nice gray. It wasn't like the light gray that the painters do. It was like a grunge gray, if that makes sense. I'm gonna look at some of my art on the walls here and see what some of the doodles are that I've done. I think I took all my art off the wall over there when I was showing it to you yesterday. And I can't see for crap up there because that light's in my eye. All right, I'm improvising. How about we do some zebra print? Just kidding. I think we can do some more lines of some sort, maybe right here. Let's do some circles because that's what I like to do. I'm going to just press down to get a little bit more pigment. So I'm going to start by doing that. And I'm going to do a double line here. And then I'm going to almost make like these little ladder sort of situations here. And then I'm going to do a really thin line next to it. And then I'm going to do some long, thin lines that all lead back to this corner. I tend to really like organic shapes instead of geometric shapes. And I don't know why. I've always been like that. Okay, so we have that. And I think coming off of that, I'll make this more organic shape to kind of break up the geometric shape. And let's maybe make it thicker in some areas, thinner in others, just so it looks more like a geode. And then we can maybe bring it down and around like this. And again, we'll thicken it in some areas. And then dots. You know how I feel about dots. Ta-da. Let's see here. Like a pretty rainbow. Yeah, kinda. It kind of looks like an orange slice or a Ferris wheel. Ugh. I'm also naturally blonde. I've colored my hair red since my mom allowed me to. I did that for a very long time. Actually, it wasn't until after my son was born and we went through all that stuff with him that I finally went back to my natural color, because I just got so tired of trying to keep up with it. And when it grows in, my hair looks gray next to it because it's so light. And actually it kind of looks gray now, but it's not. It just looks extra light in this ring light, but it's strawberry blonde. Yes. Yes. And my hair girl, so I have a deal with my hair girl because I used to be a photographer. She would do my hair in exchange for photos. And so I would go every month and and I do her website and stuff. So I would go every month and she'd do my hair for me. But it was like I had 4 little kids at home, like even going once a month to get that done was such a pain. And it only looked good for about 2 weeks before I started getting that stuff. And I tried all the sprays and stuff, and I'm just like, no, I'm too tired. I don't want to do this anymore. So I stopped. Let's see. All right. I think, no, this still has a little bit of white in it. Going from rainbow to space with stars. Yeah. Or the moon. Ooh, maybe I should paint the moon. I remember the moon watercolor paintings were like really popular at one point a few years ago. All right, let's see. I'm feeling very indecisive at the moment. I think I'll stop here for now and finish getting, oof, you guys just saw all that go everywhere, right? And finish getting this stuff off here so we can really see it shine. Hopefully you can see that while I'm doing that. Yeah. I have lots of moon paintings I've done, but they're nothing special. They're just in sketchbooks from over the years. And they don't look like anything real, like they're not like accurate depictions of the moon, but they still look cool. So one thing I like about this brush and why I continue to use it is that it's a bit stiff. That's what she said. And when you have an area on the inside of something like this right here that doesn't have any stick, but it's surrounded by the stick, it helps to have those bristles to be able to break up that foil on the inside so that you can get the actual shape of what you drew. Now, most of the time it works fine, but there are some times where you got to go in with like a nail or something to really scratch it and break it up to get it started. And I may have to do that with this one. Let's see if that worked. Okay, there we go. All right, that looks pretty good. This area looks like it may have been a little damaged, so I'm just going to put a little extra on there just to cover up that spot. And I think that looks good. So now I'm going to go in here and do the same thing. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'll bring it in a little bit close. It looks like gold cheetah print. Oh my gosh, it does. I was not even going for that. Maybe I have a problem. Does watercolor paint go bad? I mean, I'm sure it can, but I haven't had that problem. And all of my watercolors have been collected in my collection since, I mean, my oldest stuff is from 2014, and I've been collecting Daniel Smith since 2018. So just saying. None of that's gone bad or dried out or anything. Unless I've left a cap off of it, but I, generally don't do that. Oh, you should. You absolutely should. Yeah, especially most of them, they'll just dry, and then once you wet them, they reconstitute. I can tell this one here just needs help breaking. There we go. Now let me see if I can get it with this brush without damaging the rest of it, because it does feel just a little gummy. Okay, yeah, we got it. Now I'm going to turn it this way and get these guys. This one might be a little difficult to get in between right here, so I'll probably just leave it. Okay, here's an example of what I'm talking about, where when it gets too thick, it gets damaged. So do you see how there was gold foil here? And now there's not, and it's just like this ugly rip from where it was. That's what happens when it's too sticky, and even though you put the foil on it, it's just so gummy that when you run over it with the brush, it just tears it off, and it takes some extra glue with it. So you can put more foil on top of it, you just have to be careful. And then usually if you go to store it and you put something on top of it, it will just come back off because that area is just gummy. So just be careful with it. And then again, same thing here. I'm just gonna go over it gently, making sure I get all those loose edges as best I can. There we go. I think I missed a little bit right there. Okay, and then let's do this one. There we go. Okay, so now you can see where we've got, I'm going to bring this further away. Now you can see as I turn it where we have that reflective material. We still need to add it here and here, but these still aren't quite done yet. If you look up close, you can still see these little areas have a little, dang it, a little bit of white left in them, and this still has some white left in it. So it's still wet. We're going to leave it. We don't want to ruin it. So let's keep looking at this to try to decide what we want to do in terms of making it complete. So the only thing that I would recommend at this point is trying to bring in just a little bit more contrast. And for me, the way to do that is twofold. We can bring in some more of the white and maybe circle some of these gold accents here, maybe some of them here, maybe add some dots around some of these. And then the other thing we can do is bring in some black acrylic paint marker. Hang on. I think she has more acrylic paint, but I'm sure she has watercolors. It adds character too, though. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I do have acrylic paint, but I've never been the kind of painter that your mom is. She's really, really good. I've always been more abstract because I'm not good with things that need to be exact. And quite frankly, as I've gotten older, I've gotten more sensitive to things like caffeine. So I will get a little bit of a shake in my hand in the mornings, especially as I'm doing these lives. And actually, I think I had one this morning when I started doing this one. If she has acrylics, you absolutely could get started with the acrylics as well. Some of the things that you could do with this is you could go in these little white spaces and maybe add some dots here and there. You could also outline some of these or add some black centers to some of these circles here. You could also go in here and doodle in black in some of these. I don't want to do that. And then of course I'm just going to leave some of these without anything in there whatsoever. So I think what I'll do is start with the white. My mama is my grandmother too. Oh, is she? So different. Okay, so when you say mama, is she the same one that you said was your mom with, who does the painting? So one and the same? I was going to say something else, but I don't know if that's like private information, so I didn't want to put that. Okay, gotcha. No, I haven't seen Hannah Montana. I'm old. Too old for that. Okay, so the one that had the brain tumor, is that your mom or your grandma? And what do you call your mom? You just call her mom? Okay, gotcha. Mama is how I say mama. Okay, gotcha. And so your mom is the one that or your mama, as in your grandma, was the one that you were trying to get in here the other day, or that you did. Girl, I'm not Southern. I might sound it sometimes, but, you know, come on. Give a Southern girl a break, I think. Why do I suck at this? Why is my pen not wanting to work? I can do a little bit more like this, but I don't know. You don't know. Yeah, that's okay. I tend to go to mama, kaka, mama. I'm such a dork. You're like, yeah, I know, Jen. I noticed. I tend, when I'm doing voices, to go two very different directions. One of them I can't say online. Extra A. No, girl, I'm saying it with you. Extra A. Mayma? Oh, girl, that's real Southern. Mayma? Hang on, somebody's tapping at my door. Mwah. I love you, baby. Good night. So is it Mayma? Mayma, like that? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Like that? I think I'm gonna leave it like that with the 3. And I might add just some white lines like that. Okay, you said ma right, but ma, IDK, LOL, I wish I could send a voice. Well, hang on. Is it A like, because there's ma, like M-O, then there's may, okay, so ma, I can't get this right, you guys. I'm the worst. You're like, no. I tried. So like the first M-A, I know, is pronounced A-H. So like ma or ma. So I'm going to say ma, and you say yes or no. Is it ma? This is like the episode of Friends where Joey tries to speak French. So ma, mama. Why am I so cool? Why am I so cool? You know what I'm saying? I did it! Mama! I feel like I've accomplished something real tonight with that one. Yes! I have learned a new skill. TikTok should level me up or something for that, but they won't. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so my only 2 accents that I really go for, one of them I can't say on here. The other one is definitely more on the New York side because my brother's Jewish. So my little brother and I like to talk like this because, you know, if you need to pass the butter and you don't got any butter, where you gonna go? You gotta go to the supermarket. And then you gotta know if it's kosher. Is it kosher? Are we talking like that? If I had an extra $1, I'd send you a gift, but I can't. You're too good at that. You don't have to send me a gift, boo. I'm just here for a good time. That's all I ask for. And you deliver every single time. Don't spend your dollar on me. I'm not worthy. Just kidding. But no, seriously. Do not even worry your little mind. Don't you worry your pretty little mind. People throw rocks at things that shine. Okay. Seriously, I'm a big Swiftie. If you're not, I don't know if we can be friends. I almost broke up with another one of my TikTok friends over this. Oh, she just joined too. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. See, she just came in right at the right time. Just saying. JRW, I would like for you to meet It's Katie. JRW is Jill. It's Katie is Katie. Yep. Show did. Show did. Almost had to break it off with Jill because she's not a Swiftie. And I'm over here singing People Throw Rocks at Things That Shine. Yep. Jill is a very special person to me because I took her flower. And Katie, well, Katie, she keeps it real. And I just learned how to speak her language. Mama. No, Mama. Mama. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot it again. Oh my gosh. What is wrong with you two? Well, of course I sing it like it's a Prince song when I'm sitting here just humming under my breath. Don't you worry your pretty little mind. People throw rocks at things that shine and light makes love look hard. I sang that off key, but that's okay. Hey, your chicken yelled at me in your video this morning. It was so cute. Did you really give her fake eggs or was that somebody else's eggs? I need to know. Oh, whatever, Katie. You two don't know. Just when I thought we could be friends. Because friends have chickens. Friends are supposed to be on my side. Love Taylor. You have a cockatiel named Chicken? A call cockatiel. What is a call cockatiel? Those were real eggs. They are chicks now. Oh, so your little angry, brooding chicken did her job and she didn't kill them. Oh, that's hilarious. So hang on, the coyotes. What coyotes? I think I missed something. I have never had a hen actually raise her own eggs. Oh, that's right. Katie, I'm pretty sure you told me this and I forgot that you have chickens because she has like 4 acres of land in Georgia. The coyote killed my chicken. Chicken Protective Services often get called. Oh, you guys are going to make me want to have chickens. Can I birth them? I don't want to birth anything. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? That's what got us on talking about you, Jill, was my New York accent. She was saying she don't got $1. She'd send me one. I said, don't you worry your mind, or don't you worry your little mind about that. And then I said, don't you worry your pretty little mind. And then she's like, I said, oh, you got to tell me you're a Swiftie because I almost broke up with one of my favorite, one of my TikTok friends over that. And lo and behold, here you were. Girl, call them, because these coyotes, since we moved to this house, it's wild. Oof. Oof. Them coyotes. They be crazy. They be acting a fool. Or they're just acting hungry. I be acting hungry because I haven't been able to keep anything down. Well, I keep it down, but it don't stay in for long. Lots of mine are good mamas, but I also have murder mamas too. Sometimes I feel like a murder mama, but I have never chosen violence. Yeah, when I saw your video this morning and I was like, oh, look at those chickens. And I missed what you had said at first. And then all of a sudden she's just like, I was like, whoa, I didn't know chicken sounded like that. Yeah, 150 acres behind your property. Ooh, child. Them racist chickens. Oh my gosh. They must be daycare chickens. That's so crazy. I had no idea. I always heard that chickens were just dumb. But what do I know? I've never had chickens. I just think they're cute and fluffy. And honestly, I'm getting tired of eating them. I know. No kidding. I don't know if I can like bring you guys on as like co-host, or I could do multi-guest. I'm pretty sure it's just the two of you here. I don't know. Only if you want, though. Only if you want. I'll offer. I've never done a multi-guest before. That could be fun. We could take over TikTok by storm. All right. These look still wet. These little biatches. Oh, now you two get all quiet when I'm like, okay, I can do multi-guest, but whatever. Sure do. I got my husband putting mine to bed. I was like, look, honey, I get that it's frustrating, but here's the thing. You have to kind of treat this like it's my job that I go to at night. I just get to do it at home, and I get to have fun, and I still get to like talk to people that are, you know, human beings that don't care if I swear, and talk about things that I wouldn't be able to talk about in an office. So, sorry. It's all good. But the TikTok algorithm still hates me. Normally I get like at least 1,000 views. I think I'm at 159. So, honey, I will run this show, but you will have to live with the consequences of your decisions. Gladly. Gladly. And I will sing a Taylor Swift song. For real. Not like Prince. And maybe I'll even bring in my keyboard. What you think about that? And I'll sing it while I'm sick, so it'll sound even worse. I knew you would. I'm so glad you two got to meet. Would it though, or would they shut us down? Because I feel like we'd get shut down pretty quick. Yeah. I can play guitar too. I just can't play guitar and piano at the same time. Oh, that's true. But you know what? I could maybe convince her legions of fans to come and support me. And then I could get all the TikTok live gifters to like gift away. And then you two will be gift talk broke and I'll be gift talk rich, right? And then the views would be up and then I'd be out of TikTok jail, I think. But then they put me on TikTok jail for, you know, premeditated swifting. That wasn't supposed to happen. Paint with a Swiftie for the night. Yes, but they'd shut me down for copyrighted music because I'd be singing it and they'd be like, oh, you wanted to have fun with Swift lyrics? No. Okay, so then why don't you like Tay-Tay? I feel like I've got to convert you now. Like, it's like a religious thing, you know, like come to Jesus kind of moment, but come to Taylor kind of moment. Come to Taylor. I know she would. I know she would. And I just don't have that kind of cash, but you know she do. Okay, that's why you know that song I was just singing to you. I was listening to it in the car earlier, actually. I was listening to Fearless. And I don't know why it gets better than this. Take my hand and drag me headfirst. Fearless. I may have watched the Eras Tour more times than I care to admit. I have watched it while I used to work at my old job. Maybe that's why they let me go. I mean, isn't that how people usually like sing when they're just like singing to themselves while they do chores or peel metal leafing under their breath? Yeah, I know. My kids, so my second and my third daughter, they're Swifties. My oldest one liked Taylor Swift for a while. Then she absolutely hated her for no reason for a while. And now she's a closet Swiftie, so she can't tell her friends, but she always asks to listen to it. And she freely admits that she's a closet Swiftie to me and that she can't tell her friends. It's really funny. Banshee-ish. See, I'd like to think that right now, if I were to legit try to sing, I would sound more like one of those, like, oh, I would sound like Phoebe on Friends when she gets like the sexy voice because she has the cold, you know? But then I'd have to like keep that up, so I'd need to try to keep up the sickly sounding voice. Yeah, I used to be into Evanescence too. I do play some of that when I sit at my piano as well. But you know, I got old ears, and old ears just don't like that stuff as much as they used to. Not gonna lie though, I'm still rolling to Metallica, and I do still listen to some Pantera at times. Aw, wait a minute. Long live the walls we crashed through. I had the time of my life fighting dragons with you. And long live the look on your face Bring out all the pretenders. I'm not afraid. You go wrestle that dragon, boo. You go wrestle that dragon. She's gonna punch me. First chance she gets. Oh, yes, I will, girl. You know it. You know it. Half a penny. Half a penny worth. Best date of my life. I hope to see you tomorrow, Jill. I did not get that video of those boards for you today. I will, or if I can figure out how to send it you the one I originally took, maybe I'll just send screenshots if that's okay, if you're still here and even listening to what I'm saying. But I can send you screenshots of those. I just figured the video would be easier, but whatever. Okay, we got this. Is it really? That's funny. There we go. I think this looks fantabulous. It's just the right amount of shiny and busy and not busy. Okay, shoot. I can't wait to get the chick pics, and I took your flower. I'll take it. All right, you guys. Well, it is that time, and as much as I try to keep these limited to an hour, it's always at least an hour and a half. And I enjoy every single moment of it. So, why is my boob in the way? Seriously. So I'll be on tomorrow morning again, as always. I hope you enjoyed this. Maybe tomorrow I'll do that moon in the morning. We'll see. But I hope you all sleep well and dream of chick pics. You know it. Okay, shoot. All right, everybody. You take care, and I will see you tomorrow. Mwah! Bye.